It was a kind of game where you're not going to get all of the answers, but it was a game on Saturday where the Badgers can say they got a little bit better, taking care of business in a 66-7 decision against New Mexico State. Braylon Allen rushing for 3 touchdowns. Graham Mertz throwing for 3, including 2 to redshirt freshman Skyler Bell, as the Badgers rolled with a 28-point second quarter, and the game never was in doubt. We'll check out some of the highlights from Saturday's non-conference finale. We'll also hear from Wisconsin running backs coach Al Johnson, and we'll have our weekly chat with head coach Paul Chryst. All coming up on today's edition of the Badger Sports Report. 1st and 10, Mertz takes, hands off Allen again, up the middle, inside the 35, he's gone, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Wisconsin. Easy money, Braylon Allen, 39-yard touchdown run, and 90 seconds in, it's 6-0 Wisconsin. 2nd down and 7 for the Aggies at their 23-yard line. Thomas remains the running back. Pavia takes the snap, takes the handoff, lines it up, throws it deep to the right side, hangs up in the air, and it's intercepted by Ricardo Hallman at the 40-yard line, or near the 40-yard line of Wisconsin. Mertz drops the throw on 2nd down, fires in zone, caught, touchdown Wisconsin. Keontez Lewis on a dart from Graham Mertz, and it's 20-0 Wisconsin. Snap to Frakes, Badgers bring him 4. The pass pops out of the air, it's picked off by Muma Jarmeta. Off the deflection inside the 5 and down close to the goal line. They'll mark at the 2 or the 1. 1st down, goal to go, Wisconsin. Pavia gets the snap, Badgers bring in 4. Pavia under pressure, spins away, chased by Getz, chased by Herbig. Herbig gets home. Down goes Pavia inside the 25-yard line. The 49, 2nd down and 7. Mertz drops a throw, shoots it to the right, wide open Bell inside the 30, Skyler to the 20, Bell to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Wisconsin. Graham Mertz to Skyler Bell, 49 yards to the house. Skyler Bell wide to the left, that's the wide side of the field. Mertz back to throw, looks left, throws left, barrel, Bell got it, touchdown Wisconsin. Skyler Bell, left edge of the end zone. Oh, beautiful throw from Graham Mertz. Hooks up with Skyler Bell for the 2nd time today on a touchdown toss. Backs offset, Nowakowski the fullback, Garendo the tailback, handoff Garendo, trying to find room off the left side, turns it up, 25-20, there he goes, 10-5, touchdown Wisconsin. Isaac Garendo, using that speed, found an opening and blew right through it. And it's now 62-0 Wisconsin.
Play fake, Mertz, back to throw, lines up. He's a deep right side, DK got it. Touchdown, Wisconsin!
Here comes Herbig. He knocked it loose, and the Badgers will pounce. He's gone. Braylon Allen all the way. Another turnover forced by the Wisconsin defense. There is a big, big win for the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badger Sports Report with Paul Chryst is presented by UW Health, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org. And is brought to you by the Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors. BuildingWisconsinTogether.com. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
When you've been injured, you need the hometown team on your side. Trust us to get you back in the game. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Badger Athletics. One call, that's all.
You'll hear things like, you're gonna need to see a specialist.
That what you have is serious, like really serious.
And then you meet them, your medical team.
With research and clinical trials and new treatments.
With better procedures that lead to better results.
Then it hits you, you're gonna be okay.
UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
Backed by popular demand, Hy-Vee drive-through flu shot clinics. Just follow the signs in your Hy-Vee parking lot to get your flu shot right from your car. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment or prescription is necessary. Drive-through flu shots are offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Or get your flu shot inside your Hy-Vee pharmacy at any time with no appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. WEAbenefits.com.
Definitely a big win for us, for the offense and the defense today. You know, it was good to seeing that come together, you know, coming off last week. So, you know, it's great to bounce back like that. You know, you're judged by the way you react as a man and as a team. So, you know, the reaction to last week was great enough.
We know it's a long season, and, you know, our approach never changes. You know, we came in here and we worked really hard all week. Our practice energy was really good. And I think our energy today, you know, obviously it's a game we probably should have won, you know, but I think that the way that we did it and the way that we dominated it was really encouraging, and I'm just excited to see where this team continues to grow.
The message is, you know, go 1-0 every week, and I think the guys came out hard, we practiced really hard this week. You know, had a great week of practice, came out firing, and you can't ask for much more.
That's what I was so proud about this week is guys after the loss. I mean, it fueled the guys, and everybody had a little reflection of, all right, how do I need to practice this week to ensure that I'm doing my job on Saturday? And I mean, that's what you enjoy the season, is the process. So I mean, for us, it's we don't really look around to see what everybody else is doing. We're more focused on how do we get better as a team and how do we get better as players.
It's a big game because it's the next game on the schedule for us. You know, we know who they are, we know what they do, we know what they're about. But we know what we are, we know who we are, we know what we're about. So for us, it's just, you know, coming to work this week and, you know, working every day and, you know, giving us the best chance to win on Saturday.
I think that if we want to get to where we're going to be, it's obviously one of the teams we're going to have to beat on that road. And Ohio State's been really good over the past couple of years. You know, they really dominated the Big Ten, but we're excited to go show them what we can do, you know. I mean, they're obviously a really great team with a lot of great players, but it all comes down to how they play that Saturday. So I'm excited to see how we'll do.
You'll hear things like, you're gonna need to see a specialist.
That what you have is serious, like really serious.
And then you meet them, your medical team.
With research and clinical trials and new treatments.
With better procedures that lead to better results.
Then it hits you, you're gonna be okay.
UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
Backed by popular demand, Hy-Vee drive-through flu shot clinics. Just follow the signs in your Hy-Vee parking lot to get your flu shot right from your car. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment or prescription is necessary. Drive-through flu shots are offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Or get your flu shot inside your Hy-Vee pharmacy at any time with no appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver.
When we think about the world of advanced statistics, analytics, whatever you want to call it, most people think of baseball right away, but it's not just a baseball thing. You see it in basketball and you see it in football. You probably see it in every sport. And with that, we're joined by head coach Paul Chryst, who, Paul, you people in my line of work, you know, writers, broadcasters, we would spend a lot of time talking about time of possession, run-pass ratio, and other more obvious stats through the years. But I know you were talking on your radio show here recently about points per possession being a really important component. Has that always kind of been there, or were we catching up with you folks now? Has that been a statistic that has been of utmost importance?
Yeah, it has been to me, and I think where it comes from is that in the end, you know, I remember working for a lot of different coaches, and they'd always say, all right, give me the keys to success, or the keys for us to win. And I'd always tell the players, I said, there's one key to winning, and that's score one or more points than the opponent. Like, and how you do it will take every possible way to do it, right? There's low-scoring games, there's high-scoring games, and it all comes down to points. So that's kind of what first started. Okay, if it is all about points, then you've got to maximize your opportunities. And then I think when you take a look at it and you put it together with, I think it's a good team stat, because you can take what your offense does, what your defense does, and the special teams factor in so much to really kind of the field position part of it. But I think that it's the most accurate stat right now that I know of going, that if you just say one stat that determines kind of won or loss and success over the season. And really I think the reason for that is because when you just talk about points per possession or points given up per possession, so much goes into it, that automatically, the game is about the football, and if you turn the ball over, there's an empty possession. If you gain, if you have a takeaway, you've gained one, so then they're at a 0. And it's been interesting over the last probably 10 years where you see an increase on what the kind of what your target was for points per possession. And if it first started out that your most explosive offenses were going to score 1 out of every 3 possessions, and you're talking about touchdowns there. And then you kind of, as different stats became available, you could kind of will it, be a little bit more specific to truly points per possession as opposed to drives. But I think it does encompass everything, and it tells the story because a lot of things are in it. I've always thought time of possession was just a byproduct, and it really has nothing to do with winning and losing. What it typically reflects is if you've got high time of possession, then your defense is getting off the field, so that means they're having a good day typically, and your offense is controlling the ball, and therefore, especially at been at Wisconsin for a number of years, that was always one that kind of seemed to mean that it was going to be a good day. But that one, as we know and know recently, that is a meaningless stat.
Mm-hmm. I know in baseball there's all kinds of advanced statistics: launch angle, exit velocity, spin rate for pitchers. I would guess in football you could absorb as much or kind of pick through? Is it you have to kind of sift through all that and say, okay, what is relevant to us? What will our players understand? What makes the most sense?
Yeah, I think there's certainly some components that you use just for coaching. Mm-hmm. And the one thing, there's now some of these, you can go to some of the analytics and then you can call up a video of it. So I think that's good to share with your players. And yet I think that a lot of it is for coaches and kind of how you're understanding, maybe how you plan to play a game. We all know this, and this is the one thing I struggle, like just because the analytics say something doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. And I think that there is a human element to it and the flow of a game. I've had a lot of discussion. My brother is really into and understands the analytics part of it, and I'll talk to him a ton about it. And just because there's a 90% chance, how do you know that you're not living in that 10% moment? And so I think that, we've witnessed it, playing against other teams, and you can see they're going with the analytics, and it's helped us in a couple times. And I think even when you watch an NFL game, those games are so different. Spend some time in the off season and talking and trying to study and learn more about it. And when you talk to an NFL person, I think it's a very different, especially end of the game in 2 minutes, so different in the NFL than it is in college. But there is a lot that you can use and be helpful. We've been doing self-scout for a long time, but I think there's great value to it. And it really doesn't tell you the answer, but it lets you kind of maybe hedge your bet a little bit.
Yeah, as you said, it's not just a baseball thing. And with the baseball guys tell you the same thing, though. You can get all the info in the world, but each game is unique, and there's a feel for the moment, and it sounds like much the same in the world of football. It's head coach Paul Chryst. We have more to come. Stick around as the Badger Sports Report continues.
These are operating engineers. They operate top-of-the-line, innovative machines and build stuff that matters. And operating engineers are well paid. They even get paid to train. As an apprentice, you can make $56,000 a year from day one. During training, no school loans and no debt. When your training is complete, you'll have a stable career job that is high skill, high tech, and high pay. We need operating engineers right now. Your future can begin today.
My favorite breakfast is Odyssey yogurt. I asked Mommy where it comes from, and she took me to a dairy farm to learn all about milk and, most importantly, cows. Wisconsin cows are definitely the happiest, which means they make the tastiest yogurt. My favorite is blueberry. What's your flavor? Support your local farmers. EIEI Odyssey.
Familiar name, familiar face back in the Wisconsin football program. You remember Al Johnson, terrific offensive lineman for the Badgers, and he's been a coach at Division III. He was a coach and athletic director at the Division II level, and now back with the Badgers. Al, you're still a young guy. You've got a very extensive resume. It's an interesting path.
It's a very interesting path, and it's kind of shocking at times when you really think about it, especially, I didn't get into coaching until I was 33. I played till I was 30, and then I ran my own business for a bunch of years and then got into coaching. And so it all kind of goes by so fast, and then somebody will say, how was AD? And I'm like, oh, man, that was only like 8 months ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago. It really does. You got to hit the ground running, but happy to be back. I can't express enough that this is home. And this is where, when you look back, I think the older anyone gets, you kind of look back and look at pivotal places and people. And besides my parents, they all stem back to this place. And so I couldn't be more excited to have my family here and to be back in this culture with these people.
You've answered my next question in part, but I'm wondering, you said you played in the NFL, you had your own business. What was the hook? What got you excited about getting into the coaching business?
I don't know if that's a great answer that I should answer, but I'll be honest with you. It really, so for a lot of years, we got done playing, we ran our own business, and I didn't really love it. To play this game, you have to love football. You have to love it to be able to do it to the best of your ability and to be around it. And then I ran my own business, and I was like, I just didn't love it, and kind of fought coaching for a while. I won't lie, because as a player, you don't realize how much time you put in as a coach, how much time coaches put in. And so I had 4 young kids at the time, and really just kind of talking with my wife, and was 35 at the time, and she kind of, I guess, we came to the agreement that we're going to do this, but understanding what that looked like. And really it was my only, when you got out of it, really it was the only thing I've ever truly loved to do.
There's the outside world, as you say. There's also a different world within intercollegiate athletics, right? You were a head coach.
Yeah.
You're the running backs coach now. You were the interim athletics director.
Yeah.
So how did those roles, particularly being the interim AD, how's that helped you in just your overall career development?
I think overall, I know at being a head coach, there's really 2 ways you get a head coaching job. Either the team was really good and the coach moved on. And so there's pressure in that, right? You have to come in and you have to keep performing. Or the team was really bad and they fired the guy, and so you have to do a whole lot of cleanup. And mine was the latter, so it took us a few years. I was lucky enough to be able to hire a great staff and put together a great staff, and then slowly had to find wins within the little increments of moving forward. Whether the scoreboard showed it or not, when you're a bad team and you're building for the future and you're building a culture and starting over, you have to find incremental wins. The one thing that really set in a lot of days when I was first there is I played at Wisconsin, and then I was GAing and coaching at Wisconsin, and I went to there, and then it was the culture. You take this for granted, I think, at times, that the culture that has been built over decades, and the players, and how the older guys teach the young guys, and then the young guys become older and teach it, and how many generations and classes that's been through here at this university. I took that for granted. I wasn't used to having the coaches have to teach culture and work and standard, and those are the things that our coaching staff at East Central University had to do. And so those are the type of things I think you learn, and then you have more appreciation when you come back. The other thing, I believe, being AD is you learn to be a fireman. You have to put out a lot of fires. Every day there's always somebody coming in, and you have to put a lot of fires out, and you don't always get the enjoyment I get is from working with the players, being around the players, the coaches, the relationships and recruiting. the relationships with the players, just the camaraderie with the players, and really helping them. You don't get that as athletic director. And so I was lucky enough to be head coach and athletic director, so I got to kind of balance that out.
I would think, too, from your perspective as a running backs coach, it's got to be exciting to know that you'll have something closer to a full complement of healthy running backs, right? Because the spring ball it was limited. Take us back to that, what that process was like for you, just getting to learn this group, and what excites you about this group moving forward?
Well, there's a lot of things to be excited about. Obviously, being healthy, having all these guys back, getting a chance to work with them, finding out more personalities as they get into the room, a rotation that works as they work to get fully healthy, and then manage what happens on a day-to-day basis, but also just the people they are. They have a great inner desire, each and every one of them, to be great. And they want to go out and they want to put the work in. They're willing to do what it takes to be great. And that's just, it's great as a coach to be able to show up when you have a motivated group, that you don't have to go out and push every day to try to get better. And that's just so refreshing to have. When guys love football, they want to be great, they root for each other, they hold each other accountable, sometimes in more joking ways, but there's an inner message. And actually, that was one of the things I told them in our first team meeting is, I love how you guys hold each other accountable. Sometimes it's a joke, or they make sunglass jokes about you missed the hole and things like that. But there's an inner message about that they push each other to be better, even though they all want each other's reps. And that's a great thing about this group. And I am very happy to have them and really just to be around them as people.
You talk about the culture here. I know the running back tradition is off the charts. So is the offensive line tradition. I mean, you talked about wanting to come back here. Man, that's a big part of it, right? Because the linebacking core, they're really getting this thing cranked up too, with year after year players going to the league. But there's been something a little special going on in that O-line and that running back room for a while now.
Yeah, and I don't talk about it as much in our running back room with those guys. They kind of know it, right? Where I talk about it most is recruiting. A lot of recruiting is educating on our history, on our culture, on our standard, what we're looking for. And so that our next group of recruits, when they come in, they can uphold that standard that this group right now is setting forth and wanting to raise the bar, which is a great part of all this tradition, is every group wants to raise the bar. And so a lot of that is, and looking back and kind of doing just my own little research, but also knowing there's not many times, especially when you look at 5 Doak Walker winners, that there wasn't an All-American offensive lineman or more. And then how many times did we have 2 or more offensive linemen that were All-American or high draft picks that we didn't have an All-American running back? Like, everything kind of goes hand in hand. And then no different than when you look at the other positions, how much it helps out. And then offense helping defense helping that, special teams. And so it really is, that's the beauty of this game. It really is like a family. Everybody has a job to do, and you depend on each other and lean on each other.
Yeah, appreciate it. And a belated welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Al Johnson, running backs coach for the Wisconsin Badgers. Stay with us. More to come as the Badger Sports Report continues.
These are operating engineers. They operate top-of-the-line, innovative machines and build stuff that matters. And operating engineers are well paid. They even get paid to train. As an apprentice, you can make $56,000 a year from day one. During training, no school loans and no debt. When your training is complete, you'll have a stable career job that is high skill, high tech, and high pay. We need operating engineers right now. Your future can begin today.
You'll hear things like, you're gonna need to see a specialist.
That what you have is serious, like really serious.
And then you meet them, your medical team.
With research and clinical trials and new treatments.
With better procedures that lead to better results.
Then it hits you, you're gonna be okay.
UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
The Badger Sports Report with Paul Chryst is presented by UW Health, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org. And is brought to you by the Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors. BuildingWisconsinTogether.com. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
The non-conference schedule is behind them. Now the Badgers get into Big Ten play, and it begins with a doozy, you could say, going down to the Horseshoe, Ohio Stadium in Columbus, as the Badgers open conference play against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Join us next week as we take a look at some of the highlights from Big Ten game number 1. Thanks for watching.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.
Backed by popular demand, Hy-Vee drive-through flu shot clinics. Just follow the signs in your Hy-Vee parking lot to get your flu shot right from your car. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment or prescription is necessary. Drive-through flu shots are offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Or get your flu shot inside your Hy-Vee pharmacy at any time with no appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. WEAbenefits.com.
My favorite breakfast is Odyssey yogurt. I asked Mommy where it comes from, and she took me to a dairy farm to learn all about milk and, most importantly, cows. Wisconsin cows are definitely the happiest, which means they make the tastiest yogurt. My favorite is blueberry. What's your flavor? Support your local farmers. EIEI Odyssey.